time to live in Chicago. Well, that's extended into autumn as we are ready to roll under blue skies at Soldier Field. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the Carolina Panthers. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. He's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. And he'll give it here to his running back. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves it with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Defense had a chance to get off the field here on the opening drive, couldn't do it.
I know that we go into these meetings with coaches, and sometimes maybe we can get, a little bit numb because they're always going to talk about how important 3rd down is, aren't they? Offense and defense. In this case, one capitalized, and the other, as you said, had a chance to get off the field and didn't get it done.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another 1st down. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 43. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. He'll buy some time right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And this is taken in at the 5. A big play that time through the air. 38 yards.
Well, things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone. This time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. And they'll run again. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers take it right down and score on the opening drive. Extra point by Moore, up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. On 1st and 10, here's Fields. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Brian Burns in there to get him. It's a loss of 5.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
To try again after the sack. Fields flushed it. Now the ball comes loose, and it's picked up by the Panthers. And down inside the red zone at the 19-yard line. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Open space inside the 10. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. It's their quarterback. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Panthers lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And it's now 14-0. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they had the fumble last time that led to a touchdown. That's a no-no. We'll see what they do here this go-around.
A big no-no. Put that in capital letters. Turning it over, the other team takes it down and scores. That can be a deflator for a football team. Now it's up to the offense to get back out on the field and pick things up.
Now, they're out there. We'll see if they can pick those things back up. Good gain on first, has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Now it's Fields. Pressure comes in. He's brought down. It's a Panther sack. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up third. So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at third down and long. Throwing on third down, Fields. Trying to lay one up deep. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by the safety, Jarquiski Tart. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Tanner Muse there defensively.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
Gonna give this time to the tailback and give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. Decided to hand it off that time on the run-pass option.
Appeared to be an easy decision. Just gave it inside. Nice steady gain.
Throw left side. McCaffrey's got it. And inside the 20 before he's brought down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. And he'll get this down only to the 18. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Off the option, here's McCaffrey. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. A pickup of 4 on 1st down. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
you're 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
2nd and goal from inside the 5. On 2nd and goal, they'll give it to him again. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. No gain on the play there. They're going to need to come up with something better here on 3rd and goal. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. They'll run here on 3rd and goal. And he will take it across for a Panthers touchdown. A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Panthers are able to grow their lead. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that makes the score 21-0. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game? Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Fields. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. So the pitch and catch good for 11. And that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. They'll run it. Here's Montgomery. A first down and then some for Montgomery. And finally taken down at the 44-yard line.
That's quite a spot there for his first carry of the game, but obviously they had plenty of faith in him, didn't they?
No question about it. And here, why not go with the fresh legs? Able to push forward, pick up that first. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Now that's the kind of big play you'd like to see. This first half, it hasn't gone their way, and they could use a shot in the arm, something to perk them up a bit. And they get one here in the passing game.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Off play action, Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line.
It's a good of 9. Brings up 2nd and a yard.
Here's 2nd and a yard. Hands it off out of the gun. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears get a bit closer. That seemed like a much-needed touchdown after 21 unanswered points to start the game.
It's not often that you equate a football game to a golf tournament, but it's like you don't want to shoot yourself out of the tournament too early. So they needed that touchdown to make sure that they got an opportunity to not just get back into this game, but a chance to win it later if they continue to play well.
They'll try and run it here. And he will find the end zone again. So he gets the touchdown and the two-point conversion. And that'll cut this deficit down a little bit further. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive. And the ledger for them so far looks pretty good, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Not sure it can be much better than that. They've got to feel very good about the groove that they're in at this stage of the game.
Tackle made there by Bilal Nichols. They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Another run, this time McCaffrey. A very good move, but for a relatively modest gain out near the 32.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
The Panthers on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This time it's 3rd and 3. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
Well, things are definitely going right for them here in the first half. Pick it down, any down, even 3rd down, no problem. They get a connection there and pick up a fresh set of downs, continuing to move the ball.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. 50 yards rushing for him now with a couple of touchdown runs to boot. You talked about the need for them to establish the run early. They've been able to do that here in the first half.
And that means that the whole offense has adopted that attitude and that persona. We're going to take care of this young quarterback. Let's all get together and run it and take the pressure off.
2nd down and 3. Here's a quick throw caught by Smith. And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
The Panthers on 3rd down. A perfect 4 for 4 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Now this time he'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
A run there on first down and a pretty good one of 5 yards, so make it 2nd and 5.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're a back, You spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
There's going to be a jet sweep. Newton bats it forward. Well, for an inside linebacker, I think you'd agree when I say that he is fast to the football, and he proved that thesis correct on that last play.
And sometimes all of your best laid plans of play design, your X's and O's, they can't always account for individual effort defensively. And this was one of those times. Just a terrific play to hustle over there and get the running back to the ground.
And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
Running the ball served them well all game long, and there's another example as they pick up a first down.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Rolling to his right. This is caught. Touchdown, Panthers. A great effort there. On his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Panthers add on to their lead. Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that pushes the lead up to an even 20. Here's Martin now following the score as he'll send this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. After the long touchdown drive we just saw, you wonder if maybe that's taken a little of the wind out of this offensive sails, because they had it going pretty good last time too.
Had to sit over there for a little while, didn't they? You know, they were eager, amped up to get back on the field after just scoring, hoping to get the ball back quickly. That didn't happen, so I'd say come out, just kind of get started again. You know, it doesn't have to be anything dramatic. Just get moving, get loose again, and see if they can get it downfield.
We'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. Brian Burns able to record his 5th sack of the season. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback.
Under pressure, they got him again. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Pat O'Donnell now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And the Panthers will take over in terrific field position. Now a play fake here on first down. Being chased out left. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
Here we go, set. Red, 38.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
I think this defense, Charles, realizing the deficit they're facing, they're going to have to step up and make more plays like we just saw there.
Yeah, those are the type of plays that can focus a defense because, as we know, they've had their trouble so far in this one. But they just proved to themselves that they can get to him, and I expect them to continue to bring that type of pressure in order to try and turn around their fortunes.
They'll set up to throw. Buying time to his left. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds.
After the sack, you could understand him maybe being a little bit nervous back there, a little skittish, but he looked awfully decisive when he took off and ran.
Very decisive and picked up that first down in the process.
Here we go, 45, right.
Here's a run on first down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1.
It's a loss of the yard. Brings up 2nd and 11 at the 21-yard line.
2nd and 11 now. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he'll be taken down at the 20 after a gain of just 1. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
So just 8 ticks remaining here in the first half as they'll kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And with 8 seconds on the clock, really not a lot of time to try to put anything together. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29.
We gotta seal. Don't let him breathe. Play that tight deep. 60 Bison.
Off the option, here's Montgomery. And they're going to be waiting for him as they get him behind the line. So we come upon halftime intermission here with the visiting Panthers taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. The Bears going to see the football first, and they trail here as we get back underway to start this second half. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13.
Fields now to throw.
There's the Washington Husky. It's Dante Pettis. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Back to throw. Fields.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's got some space here. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A big connection on that one. 31 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
Let's go, defense. Let's get switch.
Fields going to keep it running right. Muscles him off. He'll get 8 on the keeper there. It'll be 2nd and a couple.
Now that's what he can do when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
On 2nd and 2,
Fields. That's complete right side to Kmet.
and he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
On 1st down, Fields. They're trying for Washington, but the pass intercepted. Picked off by J.C. Horn.
And the Panthers are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 7. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
They had the big halftime lead. Their defense just helped them out further by forcing the turnover, so things are starting to look pretty rosy.
They certainly are, but they've got to be careful about getting complacent, though. They still need to go out and run their offense efficiently.
67 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries.
Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
55, mark, 55.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, that last run for a first down, it really should be the last straw for the defense. I don't care how many they've had in the box. They need to add more people.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Here's 2nd and 10. He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Looking to throw. He's going to look deep for more. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Carolina. And that looked almost to be a case of, a quarterback saying, hey, I'm going to throw this as far as I can and hope you run under it. Mission accomplished.
And as that ball was hanging in the air with the receiver streaking downfield to meet it, here in the stadium, you could just sense the crowd thinking, oh, no. And their worst fears were realized as that one turned into a long touchdown.
And that one spanning and even 65 yards in the air, according to Next Gen Stats. So after the touchdown, Martin now on to kick this one away. From the 6. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw there complete to Mooney. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Fields. Over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone.
Heavy on the edges, heavy on the edges. Mike 9.
On play action, Fields.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Well, maybe this offense has learned something from watching their counterparts work. I'm wondering if their coaching staff said, let's do what they've been doing the entire game, because that's worked well. This offense, they have not looked particularly good all game long, but a nice throw there for a good gain and a first down.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 47.
To the air again, Fields.
To the right side and complete to Washington. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
2nd and 11. Here's Fields.
Over the middle, he finds Pettis complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 32-yard line.
There's a nice pickup right there, and after watching that play, I'm thinking about all the lost opportunities that they've had so far in this game. But right now, just focus on continuing to move the ball the way they did on the last play.
A play fake, now Fields to throw.
Sliding out of the pocket. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. That's caught. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
Darnell Mooney.
His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears cut into that lead. Well, they went play action there and set it up nicely for him. I mean, he can flat fly, and they hit him downfield.
And it doesn't take much to create that extra bit of space that a guy of his speed needs. If you go play action, all you want is just a moment where the guys covering take their attention somewhere else, and then he's by them. And once he's by them, there's no catching them. As they always like to say, if a receiver's even to a defensive back, that means he's leaving.
Unless that DB is Charles Davis, right?
In that case, he left me a long time ago.
Come on now.
Trust me.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Panthers out there and ready to begin their next drive.
Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Final minute now of the 3rd quarter. Now a handoff here to his running back.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
The Bears bring out an extra defender in the secondary now for 3rd down. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Here's Sam Martin now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third. Before they can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the third quarter of action. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the fourth quarter. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. It's taken to the 26. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return, and the Bears take over. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Fields. Flush. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long.
And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out. Not a great start to this drive. You had the sack, now the false start.
I mean, it doesn't take much to either read lips or just imagine what the head coach is saying right now. Get your head in the game, guys. Let's go.
So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now. 3rd and long.
Mike 55, Mike 55, Mike 55.
Here's Fields. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Panthers. And he takes it into the end zone. It's a fumble recovery and a touchdown for the Panthers. Second time he's lost a fumble. This one hurts more. It's returned for 6.
He's been under a lot of duress, hasn't he? Pressured, hurried, harassed the whole game.
Well, the offensive line not giving him a lot of help.
Not a lot of help, but the bottom line, he's got to take care of the football.
So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So they keep the ball, but work to do on 2nd and long.
A give. This is Montgomery. And he'll get him a little bit of breathing room across the 5 to the 6-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
Well, that was a third and long run, and to me, that was just a wave the white flag kind of a situation. Obviously, they don't want to risk the chance of throwing it downfield and risking a turnover in this section of the field.
Now a fair catch taken, maybe a yard or two shy of midfield. It'll wind up just a 35-yard punt, no return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now the Panthers going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back. After this. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And a nice job there defensively. They get him to the ground short of the first, right around the 42. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. A handoff as they run the counter play. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Second and 14.
19, Tiger. Tight right. 3 down. Go.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Just a loss of a yard there, but it's not going to help. Now they face a 3rd and 14.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
The Panthers on 3rd down. They've been tough to stop. 8 for 10 so far. This is 3rd and 14. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
Well, they certainly didn't appear to be fired up about their options throwing the football. So, to me, this seems like a case of just kind of taking their medicine there, run the ball, see if they can pick up something. Instead, they were throwing for a loss.
Marr able to put this one through. Now they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This will be fielded inside the 5. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
That's good. For our Bears. First and 10 at the 31-yard line.
You think you gonna get this?
Fields on first down. That's complete to Mooney. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A big play there on the catch and run. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. To throw is Fields. Throw right side taken in by Pettis. They'll contain him to just 4. Second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. They'll let this go for the end zone. And this is caught. Well, they get one back. Picking up the late touchdown here, but still down big. Here we go now as they will again try for 2. They'll try and throw for it. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion. Caught in the end zone. And that cuts the lead a bit further. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
The Panthers going to use the second of their timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this fourth quarter of play. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
And now here's a carry heading left. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line.
It's always been funny to me, Brandon, when coaches always talk about on hot days like the one we have here. Oh, it's hot for both teams. But when one team has the advantage, when one team is running the ball really well and closing things out, it's hotter for the defensive side, and they sag a lot quicker.
Yeah, they say the dog days of August, the heat we're seeing here today, dog days of September, and the advantage right now on the offensive side. Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Carolina, they're into the win column now as they move to 1-2 on the young season. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Meanwhile, for the Bears, they will fall to a similar mark at 1-2. And they will be at home next week to take on the New York Giants.